Mitra and I are real estate agents, obviously, and as such, we work with a lot of buyers every year. So we help dozens of people every year to get into a home of their dreams. And what we wanted to do in this video is distill down issues that we see most often, or mistakes that buyers make most often, and share them with you so you don't repeat those same mistakes. So we came up with a list of 5 mistakes that we see most often. And those are the ones that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. One of the biggest mistakes we see is buyers are listening to all opinions equally. Assume that now you are ready to purchase your dream home. And by then, hopefully, you have found the realtor you trust the most and you can listen to their expert advice. Imagine if the mortgage broker, real estate lawyer, a family friend, everybody comes and tells you the list of what you should or you should not do. It would be an absolute distraction from your ultimate goal, but at the same time building rapport, building really a very strong relationship with your agents to talk about the things that are a must for you or preferred for you, and literally focusing on those matters, and then negotiating the best deal that would be of your interest. And just let go of all the distraction, all the opinions that is around you, and just focus on one thing. What do you want? Who you trust the most, that you can proceed with your decision.
Exactly. The second one on the list is making all sorts of assumptions about the market. And the assumptions are usually centered around the pricing and where the market is going to go. We all, of course, feel like kitchen table experts about where the market is going to go, right? So we've seen the news, we've heard opinions, and like we usually pick up the last opinion we hear, and then we think, okay, so that's what actually is going to happen, especially if it's benefiting us. So if somebody's telling you with confidence that the market is going to go down by something like 30% in the next 3 months, and you are in the buying mode, you think, well, you know what should you do? Of course, you should wait, right? The market is going to go down by 30%.
If Warren Buffett cannot time the market, how can we?
Yeah, well, exactly right. So I sometimes say that I know a few friends that are economists, and if they were accurate with their predictions, they would have all been independently wealthy. Last time I checked, though, they're still employed. So making predictions about the market is not the thing that you want to do. So in reality, again, going back to the first point, it's a mistake to predict where the market is going to go. Instead, you should focus on what your why is. Maybe, pull out a sheet of paper, put a few things down so that you're absolutely clear on why you're making that move, and it's not tied only to the market moves or your considerations about where the market might or might not go.
Absolutely. So another mistakes that we see most buyers make at the beginning is holding off simply because interest rate is increasing or home prices are increasing, and forgetting about why at the first place they wanted to invest in real estate anyway. You cannot put on hold building a family or raising a family of 4 children that they need a space, or if you want to create a home office and or have an extended family to live with you. These are all considerations that you know best, that has nothing to do with the interest rate hike or price increase of properties. So knowing what you want and why you are making that move is really what you need to focus on.
And the next one on the list is buying something out of desperation. So what that means is this. So buyers, when they go through the journey of buying a home, usually take their time. And depending on their personality type, that time might extend from a few days to a few weeks to a few months, or possibly even a few years. And we've certainly seen examples like that. So in that period of time, while you're in a buying mode, what you might have been doing is getting pre-approvals from banks. And maybe you are on your 4th pre-approval already because the previous ones had expired and you've not bought anything. And you feel like, okay, so you know what, that's enough. This is my 4th pre-approval. It's like 2 weeks before this one is gonna expire. I gotta get out there and buy something because I'm desperate at this point. Desperation is not a good motivator to buy a home. This is not the right thing, or not the right prompt to act. Again, we're going back to the same exact set of principles. Make sure that you're clear on why it is that you're making the move. Make sure that you're clear on your time frame. If you want to be out in British Columbia with your grandkids, if that's your thing that's driving your decision to move, there's a specific time frame within which that needs to happen. You cannot put it off indefinitely. Your grandkids are going to be, in their 20s soon enough if you keep waiting for markets to be beneficial to you or to your goals. So make decisions based on your life goals or life changes that you're going through instead of acting out of desperation just because your pre-approval is expiring.
True. One more thing that we see is buyers who really believe they only need to buy a property through the listing agent or privately or for sale by owner. So our question is, in the middle of a conflicting situation, like let's say divorce, you definitely want to have a lawyer who would represent you, take your interest to heart. Imagine the listing agent is hired to represent the seller. We had situation that we represented both buyers and sellers, not because we were the listing agent, but because we had a buyer who chose to work with us, and we are also matchmakers. We found a property that happened to be our own listing, and then we literally helped them to purchase the property that they wish to buy. However, this is not the case most of the time. You as a buyer want to make sure you are hiring a realtor who has your interest to heart and is going to focus on what is important to you rather than representing a seller and what the seller agenda could be.
Exactly. A good example to sometimes make or give for reasons or rather with cases like that is that, so say there's a contested divorce and you have to hire a lawyer. Like, would it be reasonable for you to consider hiring a single lawyer for both parties, for both the husband and the wife, hoping that both parties' interests are going to be served equally? No, there's an inherent conflict of interest. And if you're a buyer who's focusing only on wanting to work with a listing agent or wanting to work privately, it's going to be a hit and miss type situation because you're not representing by anybody who's from within the industry, who is the expert in what they do, that's going to be looking after your interests specifically. You're there to fend for yourself.
There are so many properties right now out there that could be overpriced listings, and with the network of partners we have, the information we can gather for you to make sure that you are going to make the right decision at the end, getting the best price. That's what you want to focus on.
So there you have it, guys. 5 mistakes that we see buyers make most often. So hopefully, you wrote a few things down so you do not repeat those same mistakes, and happy house hunting.
If you would like to know more, feel free to call us. We are here for you.